Episode of Mindscope. I am Segilola, proudly Nigerian. All right. Yes, good afternoon to you, Olabisi. And how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great and wonderful.
I can see it all in green.
Exactly. The land is green today.
Yeah, the land is green. That's fantastic. You know, it's always crucial for us to remind ourselves that the land is always green.
And you know, yesterday was International Mother Tongue Day.
That is very important. I guess that's the reason for the conversation.
Exactly.
Thank you for mentioning my name. I'm so grateful to you. All right, dear listener, I trust you're keeping well, and I trust you're staying safe and staying sane. Yes, remember what we learned last week on Mindscope, the mental health safety measures, especially during this COVID-19 era. And one of the major points I took away from Mr. Kunle Pelemo, that was our facilitator last week, he mentioned mindfulness and the spirit of gratitude. And really, they're working for me and very practicable. You know, there are things that come, you know, you just have to be conscious of it. And so riding on the spirit of gratitude today on Mindscope, we will be looking at a conversation that is centered on intentional motherhood. Who said it will be easy? Double, what do you think? Nobody said.
No, before you become a mother, you think everything is all easy until you get into those shoes.
We're talking about expectations versus reality, right?
Exactly. No, the expectation is before. The reality is where you are.
Once you get in.
And there is really no book to say this is how to do it, because every baby, every motherhood style, it's no baby is the same, and
Very true.
But your own motherhood style is different from others. What you go through, how you manage it, how you come out strong, differs from one person or the other.
Okay, so it's practicably, let's say it's going to be unique for each person.
Exactly.
And that's very good. And I believe, even in spite of cultural differences, even in spite of a skin color, there are still some common grounds, I believe, in terms of feelings.
Exactly.
Those are the things we need to learn how to deal with such issues. And today on Mindscope, we have with us to teach us. I tell you, it's really a big deal for me, because I've been learning from our guest for the past few years online. And today it's a great honor to hear directly from her. She's an inspirational teacher, and she's a clear communication coach. Yes, an author and a public speaker. She's Monique Russell, and she's going to be calling in from Atlanta, Georgia. And so we're going to hear from her. I'm expecting a call any moment from now. And so let's go on a short break, and we will be right back.
Okay, stay with us. It's 89.7 FM.
Yes.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia on my mind. I said, Georgia, Georgia, a song of you.
Hello, Monique.
Hi, Segilola.
Okay. It's so great to hear your voice. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Same here. I'm excited to be connecting with you.
So great here. I'm drunk with joy, I must confess. All right. That song, Georgia on My Mind, by Ray Charles, is actually dedicated to you. I hope you appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You know how to make a lady feel welcome.
Wow. Thank you. You know you're incredible just like that. All right, Monique, you're on air right now on Mindscope on Echo 89.7 FM, the city of Lagos, Nigeria. And it's so great to hear your voice all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, U.S. Right now, if you ask me, the weather here is quite gorgeous. And I've heard about the U.S. winter storm, especially the devastating effect in Texas. How is the weather over there in Atlanta?
Well, actually, Atlanta is not that bad. Texas surely was hit, and I mean, we send love and light and peace and prayers to everyone there. Atlanta, we are doing okay. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, but for today, we're doing well. It's nice, it's chilly, it's not too hot, it's pretty early, so I'm looking forward to a great day.
Yes, it's already a great day, it's a great start. All right, Intentional Motherhood. Who said it will be easy? That's the title of your book. I say congratulations to you, Monique. That's really commendable. Now, what really inspired you to write this book?
Well, I was pretty much inspired from my own personal experiences. I became a mom at the age of 18. It wasn't something that was planned. It was definitely not in my trajectory of career growth. And I happened to become pregnant when I was off at school in college. But what I realized was that shortly after, 2 years after, I was asked to give parenting talks and seminars on, mindset and the way of working, going to school, handling my son. I also had a team of 5 that was reporting to me at the time where I was working in the multicultural services department as a consultant. And so the book was inspired, first of all, from my personal experiences, and then also my professional experiences coaching women leaders, helping women leaders to really tap into self-awareness and understanding and healing so that they can pass down healthy communication patterns to their children.
Okay, that's fantastic. They need to know, they need to understand proper communication, especially when it relates to their families. So what really is intentional motherhood all about?
Well, really, in a nutshell, it's pretty much helping us to parent from love and not fear. So it's being very, very intentional about the behaviors, the practices, and understanding why we do what we do so that we have those positive, loving relationships with our children, with our business partners, with our colleagues, with our parents. So there's pretty much, I would say, 4 main areas of focus that I touch on in the book. And the first is really about identity. We have to understand our identity as mothers intentionally, not just what society tells us. We have our children, we have to do for them, and we operate from a default place in terms of what we are supposed to do. We provide for them, we make sure they get the best school.
We love the husband, our husbands, and even the children. Yeah, I understand.
Exactly. Yes. So our identity, we have to actually be intentional because our identity as mothers is so intertwined and wrapped up in who we are as individuals that if we don't stop and be intentional, not just about who we are and who we aspire to be as moms, we run the risk of just being on this default train. Then we feel guilty when we can't keep up. We feel guilty when we have aspirations and professional desires and we feel we're being limited or held back. So when those things come up and when we're feeling shame or we're feeling like, oh my gosh, this is just too overwhelming, we haven't stopped to take the time to really, one, rebirth ourselves in that identity, and 2, redefine what success looks like for us.
rebirth ourselves and then redefine what success means to us. I love those 2 points. So can you talk about your own challenges? For me, this is really peculiar. You married, you got pregnant at 18, and you had, I can't even try to imagine some of your peculiar challenges. Could you share with us some of your own frustrations and how you overcame or how you're dealing with them?
So, absolutely. So another point of what I'm teaching is around self-communication and self-awareness. So Shagilolo, listen, I went to school to become a communications professional. I spent over 12 years studying the science of communication. I've been teaching it at the university level. I've become a subject matter expert teaching communications and public speaking. And with all of this knowledge, there were still some aspects of myself. This is what I'm talking about, our default patterns and our default behaviors that we don't realize are impacting our connection with our children and with our spouses and with others around us. So for me, I will say, honestly, my mindset when I first had my child was not one of defeat. And I talk about this in the book because I couldn't imagine that people would say, oh my God, you're not going to finish school, you're not going to this, you're not going to that. And so the mindset that I had was not that I was in a inferior position, not that I was in a defeated position. I mean, after all, people were asking me to come and teach about parenting. And these were moms who were twice my age. I was 20 years old at the time.
That's beautiful.
So I would say, initially, as I developed, what I recognized as challenges were that, first of all, for example, I just knew that I need to do.
Do what?
To really be.
Do what?
Do meaning providing for my child,
okay.
Providing for my children. When you feel like you have to be a good wife, air quotes, good wife, providing for my husband. And in terms of talking about the relationship with my children, both of my boys now are grown. My eldest is 20,
Fantastic.
My youngest is 14.
Wow,
So I'm
great.
talking from the experience of, first of all, when we look at, let's say, discipline and punishment, for example. We like to praise women who have, quote unquote, good kids, but really, why are they good kids? Because they are simply obedient. They do as they are told. That is the mindset that I was raised with, that I grew up with. That was a connection challenge, because what happens when we have our children who simply do what they are told when they grow up to become adults, it's harder for them in business and in life and other relationships to speak up for themselves.
So in essence, if we are not careful, the society can actually define success, even for us and our children.
Exactly. That's why it's so important for you to have your own identity and your own definition of what that should look like.
Okay.
So
okay.
even I would say, when I coach women now, and I see, for example, leaders who struggle with authority in their workplace. They feel like because this person is over me, I can't really speak up. Those are patterns that we know stem from leadership, motherhood roles, fatherhood influences in childhood. So now we're working on different aspects of expression, because those types of connections weren't really being fostered when they were children. Or when you look at, let's say, in the workplace, you feel like if someone does something wrong, it's an automatic punishment instead of discipline. Punishment shuts it down, and discipline empowers you. It educates you.
I love that.
To do more and think about a different way. So the thing is, when our kids become older, and if they are just relying on us to make decisions, when we're not there, it's going to be so much more difficult for them to make really good choices and decisions in our absence.
Okay.
So I would say my challenges were around identifying why I did what I did, why my beliefs or how my beliefs were formed, how my beliefs that I had were even influencing the decisions that I chose. Maybe I felt, okay, I need to stay home. There was one point where after I had my second child, I stayed home for a while. And then after that, Segalula, I got disgruntled. I was like, no, I don't want to stay home. I have ambitions. I'm a working mom. I can be a working mom who can also provide emotional, spiritual, and mental support for her children. So there's no one-size-fits-all approach. And I had in my mind that, okay, these were certain things that I needed to do to be a quote-unquote good mom as opposed to who I needed to be. So I think when we move out of that state of just thinking about the things we do, when we focus on the mindset that, okay, I'm the type of mother who cares for the well-being of my child. Okay. I'm the type of mother who demonstrates how to speak up when something is wrong. I'm the type of mother who chooses the best academic options for my children. When you start to broaden it as opposed to it has to be this way, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be, you have to follow these specific protocols, wash the dishes this way because that's the right way. When you limit yourself as you're raising your children and you sort of box them in the spirit of, I'm doing it because I love you. It's not really, when you really peel the layers back, it's not really love. We're doing it from fear. And so that's what the book walks you through, the whole process, because the truth is, Shege Lola, I will tell you right now, just because you're family, it doesn't mean that you're connected. You can have family connections, and there are a lot of families that I have coached that have been torn.
That's mind-blowing.
In their adult life.
That's mind-blowing. So intentional motherhood, it's about loving the family, loving our husbands, loving ourselves, right? And then we extend that love to the husband, to the children. And so it's coming out of a place of love and not fear.
Yes. And I want to make sure that even when I talk about love, I love to use the biblical references. Because love can mean so many different things to people. People sometimes think it's because of how I feel. It's not really that feeling. Because our emotions are fickle. Our emotions can change.
Very true.
So
Hello, Monique. Okay, she's going to call back. Okay, so yes, we have very few minutes, but this is really, really impacting. And I must say that I am already empowered listening to Monique Russell, and she called in from Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, the network just got, okay, there was an issue there. Thank you so much, dear listener. That's how much we can take for now. And I want to appreciate you greatly, Monique Russell. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your wealth of knowledge with us on Mindscope all the way from Atlanta. And I must say that really this book is commendable and is going really, really far. Dear listener, I want to appreciate you too. So you can still get across, to me. The conversation continues online. Reach out to me on any of the platforms, social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn. Yes, that's Segilola. No, Oluwatoyin rather. Oluwatoyin Segilola, I will say. Thank you once again, and I wish you well. So stay alive, stay sane. God bless you.